place as desktop in your YouTube studio under content, live. So that's the basics, how to go live on YouTube. So this is great for beginners and getting started, but what if you wanted to add things like text overlays, or maybe you want to go live to other places at the same time, like Twitch and X, or even add media files.
Welcome. So today we'll be reacting to this video by Sloan, and this is Lynn Spears.
Owning your audience. How? With an email newsletter. It's not just a communication tool, it's your fortress, your stronghold, your direct line to your tribe. No algorithms, no bans, no...
So today's video is not clickbait, and honestly, I wish it was, because this story is tragic, but it needs to be told, because Lynn Spears did something horrific back in the day, and there are no videos on it. And as I did research, it was hard to piece together this story, but I put it all together, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the death of Anthony Winters. So as you guys know, Lynn Spears is the mother of Britney Spears and Jamie Lynn Spears and Brian, but we don't really ever talk about Brian, even though I do feel like he needs his own video because there are some sketchy things out there. Recently, Lynn has been trying to pry her way back into Britney's life. She went to, I guess, LA for the holidays and hopes to be invited to Britney's Thanksgiving, but we know that Britney doesn't want her there. We'll talk a little bit more about that bizarre footage and Britney's relationship with her mother Lynn later on in this video, but let's go ahead and take it back to 1975 when Lynn Spears took the life of this young boy. There are a handful of articles about this situation online, and each one of them has different information. That's because people like Anthony's mother and his brother have spoken out, and people like Lou M. Taylor has spoken out for Lynn Spears. But before we get into what everyone has to say, let's talk about what happened on that day and what led up to Lynn killing this kid. So again, we're back in 1975. So at this point, Lynn was 20 years old, and she ran over and killed a 12-year-old boy. Supposedly, Lynn was turning a corner when she hit Anthony and ran him over. It was on a neighborhood road in their hometown, Kentwood, Louisiana. I guess Lynn was actually driving her own brother to the hospital because he had some type of injury, so she got him in the car and she was driving there, and I could only assume that she was speeding and trying to get there as soon as she could because her brother's in pain. He's got an injury. I mean, if they want to go to the hospital, it's got to be something serious. So I'm sure she was driving frantically and ran over this 12-year-old boy, and he died. Anthony was playing on his bicycle right outside his home, the home he lived at with his parents and his brother. So in Anthony's final moments, he was actually with a friend. So there were multiple people playing outside this road. I don't know how you miss like multiple kids playing on the road, but as Lynn rounded the curve, she could not avoid the boy in the street as there was...
Thank you all for joining us here today to celebrate the achievements of this commencement class.
One of the greatest thrills and honors of my life will be to stand over there and hand you a diploma and to address you as doctor.
You are a bridge to our past and the hope for our future.
Excuse that ad. I should have skipped it.
Woo! Adapted mind math! Come explore the site with me. I'm in first grade.
Oncoming traffic in the opposite lane. So I guess it was either run over the boy or wait, I don't understand that. So as she rounded the curve, how would she like? I feel like if you run over someone, you don't know until you've done it already. Like, how would she know that? Like, even think about oncoming traffic on the other side. If like, how would you have time to think about that? I feel like you would have ran over and be like, "Oh crap! Like, what happened? I didn't see anything." But this kind of made it sound like I don't know. Did she see something? Who really knows? I wish I knew the street that it was on so that we could go there and look, but I can't figure it out because it was back in 1975 and there's not a lot of reporting. But at the time, Anthony did have a younger brother, and he's still around today, and he does have a little bit of memory about this situation. Anthony's younger brother, Chris, was only 3 or 4 years old when his brother passed away. He shares, "I was in the house and he was outside on his bike, a two-wheeler. He went into the street and the car went over him. I know my mother ran outside and was screaming." Oh my gosh, I can't even I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be like a mother, like running outside and just seeing your kid like there on the ground, completely ran over and done. And actually, we can't get into it yet. We'll get into it in a second. Anthony and Chris's parents told Chris a lot later that Anthony actually died instantly, and it affected his family pretty bad. I mean, he was 3 or 4 at the time, and I'm sure he had some effects of this, and he probably did his entire upbringing. It's all he knows that his brother's not there, but I can't imagine what that family went through. And you would think that, Lynn would do anything in her power to make them feel better or apologize or anything like that. You guys will notice that that's the most effed up part of this entire story, that Lynn hasn't really ever apologized or even met with the people. Like, there's a lot to unpack here. And situation, but wait, how have you never? I feel like I don't know how I would take someone's child and not have a relationship with them, because I feel like that's the only way to at least have some closure or something, because the amount of guilt, holy crap, it takes a cold person to not go and reach out to the family. I wonder, I guess the police did an investigation, and honestly, if it's an accident, it's an accident. Does she get charged on it? I mean, I don't know the laws in Louisiana, but supposedly this tragedy does still affect Lynn, and she is haunted by the incident and doesn't like to talk about it, which I'm sure she doesn't like to talk about it because she probably wants to act like it never happened. But you can't ignore that family who lost their child. That's something that's very real and happened. So you kind of have to talk about it and acknowledge it. This article confirms again that she's never expressed any condolences. Wow. I mean, that's just so sick to me. I was a little bit shocked as I was doing research on this situation because I found a quote from Lou M. Taylor, which is kind of random because she inserted herself into Lynn's life here and she gave a statement. I mean, I don't know if she was hired or not. I'm not making any allegations. Don't come and try to cease and desist me. I'm just saying I found a quote from her on this situation and I find it bizarre. This article refers to Lou as Lynn's spokesperson, and she confirmed the tragedy happened and that Anthony Winters and his friend were, in the road when Lynn Spears drove by and ran over him. Lou goes on to say that the boy died at the hospital as a result of his injuries. Lynn realized the boy was struck immediately and to this day is grieved by that family's loss, so she feels bad by it. And I'm sure she does feel bad and she feels guilty, probably because she's never apologized. She's never said sorry.
Hello, good morning. Hi, ik ben Jan.
Brandon, nice.
Brandon.
Perfect.
Hey.
Hey.
Just stepped on it.
Brandon, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome.
Thanks.
How do you feel?
Feel good. We'll see what happens,
Yeah. So
I could not even live like you, Lynn. I cannot even imagine not like, of course you feel horrible. Like, why don't you go and try to fix things before you know, on your deathbed one day and you regret all of that? Oh God, that really irks me. But something that bothers me too is that I feel like they're trying to make this situation seem a little bit better than what it is, because they say that the boy died at the hospital here, but there are some other reports that suggest otherwise. I mean, Anthony's brother literally said that his parents told him later on that Anthony died instantly. So it wasn't like he was conscious, they got him to the hospital. Like, on the scene, passed away, and it was really bad. So, and honestly, I believe the brother. I also believe that he probably did right on the scene. I don't know how Lynn could have done this. Honestly, it sounds like a nightmare. Like, trust me, I'm so scared of ever running over a pedestrian. That's my biggest fear, because who would want to do that? But like, if I did do it, I would at least try to like make the people feel better or say sorry or something. So Lynn was driving her brother to the hospital, probably driving recklessly because her brother's injured and she needs to get him there. And she's taking this curve super fast and she kills this young boy. But because it's clearly an accident, she was not charged with anything, which I don't know. I don't know the laws, but I feel like if you're recklessly driving, like I always like grew up thinking that pedestrians had the right of way, like no matter what, like the car, like no matter, as a driver, you should always be paying attention. And it probably, like, I'm assuming was an accident. I don't think that Lynn saw the kid and like, wanted to hit him, but a lot of times people, hit other cars and they don't want to hit them, but you did it and you take accountability for it. And maybe she did take accountability in her opinion, but I feel like, a little bit like maybe a reckless driving, ticket could have been nice. Maybe an apology to the family could have made sense. But obviously Lynn feels some type of way about this because she has sent multiple sources like Liam Taylor and actually another source out to the media to talk about her feelings. One person was quoted saying, "To this day, Lynn hasn't gotten over what she did. I'm sure if you went and talked to the people, you'd feel better. She gets that terrified look in her eye when she's thinking about it. Holy crap. It makes you think that she did something wrong. Like, if it was truly an accident, you would, kind of, I feel like, recover from it at some point. But, like, she really must have felt like she did something so truly horribly wrong that she gets a terrified look in her eye." The source goes on to say she has told only a few people about the accident and always says, "Please don't think I'm a bad person." Aw, I get that, but also, like, I feel like you're a bad person for not, like, giving any condolences to the family. You're just worried about yourself and how people would see you. And fun fact, that was the same year that she actually married Jamie Spears. So all in one year, she, killed that kid and got married to.
Okay, home chick, you get this terrified look in your eye. At least try to make it right with the family. Like, you didn't do nothing, Lynn. Lynn Spears, you didn't do anything. Like, that's the point that, like, this is like one of the most craziest reaction videos I ever did.
To such a charming man, Jamie Spears, which sarcasm, 100% sarcasm. And as you guys know, nowadays Lynn Spears is trying her best to get her daughter back because she is part of the reason why Britney was put in this conservatorship, and Britney has been calling her out. TMZ has actually conveniently caught Lynn Spears at LAX a few times now. I wonder, like, who calls them and tells them, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be getting off at this gate, like, so be prepared to meet me," or whatever. But yeah, so Lynn Spears was seen at LAX, arriving there to try to make up with her daughter and get those headlines that she's hopeful to reunite. But we've heard from other sources, which honestly, I don't know if I trust these sources, but maybe this one, because Britney has shared that she has made it crystal clear, they said, that she has no desire to see her mom or any of her family for that matter. The only people that matter in Britney's life are her fiance, Sam, and her two children, Jaden and Sean, which we love her for that, but
Shopify Point of Sale makes it easy to start and grow your retail business. All backed by the world's most powerful commerce platform. Whether you're running a retail shop or online store, from startup to scaled up, Shopify is the commerce platform you can trust with your business.
I don't even know why I skip it.
New Eden.
But yeah, so supposedly an exclusive source told Hollywood Life that Brittany does not want Lynn around, and we know that Lynn has tried going to the house, but Brittany has sent her off away. Usually when Lynn is caught at the airport, she really doesn't say much, but this time she did do some body language, so we're gonna act like body language experts over here, because one person asked her, well, the paparazzi, the one person asked her, I just cracked my, ooh, my gosh. Is it true that's bad for you? Because I just really messed up then. Anyway, so they asked him, are you trying to be with, Brittany for the holidays? Like, what's your goal? Like, why are you here? Like, what's going on? And she shook her head, yeah.
Lynn appears to be hopeful that she'll see her daughter while in town.
Are you hoping to see her for the holidays? You are. Oh, that's good.
They also asked Lynn, if you have any message for your daughter, what would it be? Which I found interesting, because if she was in LA to go see her daughter, you think she would just go and give her the message herself. But this is a really dysfunctional family. And she did a little prayer motion, like she's praying for Brittany, which honestly, Lynn, we're praying for you right now, because it seems like Brittany is doing very well. I'm not saying not to pray for Brittany, but I'm just saying who really needs the prayers? Lynn Spears, Lynn Spears. I'll pray for you.
If you have any message to your daughter, what would it be? Praying. Good.
So yeah, honestly, I doubt that Lynn was with Brittany. And honestly, at the end of the day, I would love for Brittany to have a loving relationship with her sister, her mother, her father, but it's her choice. And if she doesn't want to, we're not going to force it, because this family has done some really messed up things. I know maybe you're at home, you're like, I can't imagine not having a relationship with my mom or my dad or whatever, but can you also not imagine what they've gone through, Brittany in the conservatorship, Lynn supposedly drugging Brittany at one point in her Red Bull and sending her off to a facility. These people have ruined her life, or at least tried to ruin her life. So I totally get why she's trying to keep them away. Actually, for you investigators out there, I have a question or an assignment or some homework for you. Someone did send me a bunch of files about Lynn, a lot of personal information. Honestly, TMI, I don't want all of that, but she's connected to this company, this LC called the Ladies of Louisiana. She's actually seen in that picture in the leather jacket next to the woman, between the two women in the pink and the black jacket. This page, okay, I'm just confused. So the page has 4,000 people who follow it, which is a lot, because I have a Facebook page and I have a few things on there and I have 1,000 followers. This is one picture and it's got all these followers. I don't know exactly what they're they're offering a membership program or what the idea is, but I think actually they've slowed down on everything, because Lynn has gotten a bunch of backlash over Free Britney. But if people want to do some digging into that, that could be interesting. There's also an address out there in Louisiana. I'm not going to dox it right now, but if you are an investigator type person, you will find it. It's a big chunk of land near a church, and it's listed as a home address for Lynn back in 2013 and a bunch of other people Jamie Lynn and her father, and there's nothing there. And the town locals also refer to the address as kind of a known area. It's a weird thing. So there's something going on here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've seen some things sent to my email. Thank you, Paxton. Great research. But I just want to see if other people can try and put it together. I'm not going to get too much into it because it gets complicated. But yeah, go and do some work if you're interested, because I think there's something really sketchy when it comes to Lynn Spears. And I think the rest of the family is going to start just crumbling, honestly, because they have been screwing over Brittany for so long. And the truth is